Let's have a property tour, shall we? Brian Lebo here, and today we're back in Summerlin. We're in South Summerlin, and we're actually in the exclusive enclave of the Ridges in Sterling Ridge. Now, if you remember a few months ago in the beginning of the year, we filmed a property in the same neighborhood on Glade Hollow. One of my absolute favorite properties, larger than this property on a larger lot, although this one's on a corner lot, but the delta is over $1.5 million. So this home, there's only 3 homes in all of the Ridges that are less expensive than this property. So this offers you an incredible opportunity to be in one of the most exclusive communities in all of Las Vegas and be one of the most affordable homes in this entire neighborhood. So without further ado, let me show you some of this property and let's get started. So like we normally do, we're going to start off in the kitchen and talk about the flooring on the way there. So the entire main floor of this property consists of engineered hardwood flooring. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful grayish brown color, very, very neutral. But like I said, we always start off in the kitchen, so let's check this out first. So the first thing you notice when you come into the kitchen is this absolutely massive kitchen island. So this consists of 2 entire slabs of quartz, very lovely, and a little bit of a history here for you. The owner of this property was really into baking, and when she was configuring the kitchen area, the island configuration didn't really work for her, so she wanted more of a T configuration. So not only did William Lyons Homes build this for her, but they liked it so much that they continued the rest of the community with this type of configuration. So while there's plenty of storage running in the middle of this side of the island, you have bar stool seating on this side as well as the opposing side. So really functional and really aesthetically pleasing. But now let's see the rest of the kitchen and let's start digging into some of the details. So the cabinetry is very modern. So we have flat panel wood cabinetry throughout the entire kitchen. Really lovely. And then we have the entire Bosch appliance package. So here we have our Bosch double ovens. And then as we come down a little bit farther, we have our built-in Bosch microwave. Now, you're gonna notice that we have a little bit of a contrast between the island and the rest of the counter surfaces. So while the island consists of that white quartz, that's kind of like a Calcutta, here we have more of a concrete gray quartz counter surface with a really beautiful brick-laid ceramic backsplash tile. Really lovely. All right, coming down here a little bit further, love this area. So we have our sink and we have a massive window that looks out into the backyard, the pool, a very zen backyard, which we're gonna see a little bit later. And if you've been watching the show, you know what's coming next. Couldn't be happier. We are way under $3 million. And yes, we have 2 dishwashers. What was odd to me is a lot of the homes in this neighborhood don't have 2 dishwashers. So that was a really pleasant surprise. Not sure if the owner specifically mandated it, but she's my kind of woman, I'll tell you that. Now, coming back to the island over here, this is nice. So here we have our Bosch 36-inch cooktop, and we have a downdraft ventilation system as well. Now, the one thing about being in this space of the kitchen is when you're over here, you're a bit segregated from the family room, so you won't be able to watch the television, which with man brain is a no-no. But what I love what they did, directly across from the cooktop, you'll see that we have a mount for a display. So perfectly in your sight line while you're in here cooking, you can mount another display, and we have distributed audio throughout the entire home, which we'll get into a little bit later. Really neat. All right, coming down past the other dishwasher, you're gonna notice, how can you not notice? Massive. So here we have our 72-inch built-in Subzero refrigeration system. So this pretty much eradicates any need for a secondary refrigerator in the garage or in another area. Really lovely. Coming down here, plenty of storage. Here we have kind of our morning bar area. And for those younger viewers out there, this is called a landline. For the rest of us old folks, this was actually some technology having a cordless phone, right? So don't really see too many landlines anymore. Now, I want to talk about the pantry. So we have a nice French door that leads us into the pantry. And while it's more of a simple pantry, you know, these are the kind of details that I really appreciate. I love the fact that they put in electrical outlets throughout the pantry at eye level. So while this house doesn't have a per se appliance garage, you can put a lot of your countertop appliances in the pantry, out of sight, out of clutter, because you do have those electrical outlets right there at eye level. Brilliant, brilliant, simple, simple move. I think every builder should actually start contemplating that decision, because for as little as it costs to add electrical in there, what a difference it actually makes. Now we get to this area. So this one, I want to hear your comments because I have another idea for this, but this basically becomes your wet bar. So whether you keep kosher or you want to make this into a dedicated bar, you do have an undermount sink, which denotes it as a wet bar. And we do have refrigeration for your wine or whatever spirits you want to keep refrigerated. And then this is what I alluded to earlier. So here we have our mounting bracket for our television display, and we have inputs for audio. The whole house is on a Savant system, which we'll see later. And we do have distributed audio throughout the entire property. So even here in the kitchen, we do have 2 speakers, and we have wiring if you wanted to put in a chandelier or a ceiling fan. So you can plug right in here and then have music going throughout the entire home via the distributed audio. Okay, let's come down here a little bit farther. Now let's talk about this family room. So coming into the family room, the big thing you're going to notice is that we have 2 slider systems. So here we have a 12-foot slider, and then we have the next 12-foot slider a little bit farther. And this is what truly makes modern living, because this gives us our ingress and egress to the backyard. We've got a gorgeous patio cover. All of this we're going to see a little bit later on in the show, but on a day like today where it's finally in the 80s, you can enjoy a little indoor-outdoor living. This really boosts the livability of the property. Now coming down here a little bit farther, let's talk first about this media wall. We have a 50-inch gas fireplace, linear, much more modern, and I really love what they did. So we have a media wall here, and this was designed with kind of an industrial rusted metal aesthetic. It actually is not rusted, so you don't have to worry about that, but really cool industrial look. I really love it. But the best part of this area is what's directly above me. This actually houses, in front of you and behind the camera, we do have a massive projector. And above me is a 130-inch screen that deploys from a ceiling cavity automatically, so you can enjoy all of your cinema right here. And while I told you we have distributed audio throughout the entire home, here in the family room, we do have 5.1 surround sound speakers in the ceiling. This is one of the coolest features of the house. So while we have a courtyard entry to get to the front door, we have a massive courtyard here. So this courtyard is incredibly spacious. You could actually put a patio cover and make it a little bit more intimate, add some more shade, but this is just a wonderful space. And this time of day right now, it's completely shaded. It'd be a wonderful, wonderful place to enjoy. All right, let's come down here a little bit farther. Let's talk about this blank space. And I'm interested in your comments. There's a couple things you could do here. So on one hand, where we just saw the wet bar in the kitchen, my first thought is this is actually where I would put the wet bar. It makes a little bit more sense being in the family room area. But what we see more and more now are these modern wine closets. And this would be a perfect place to have a showpiece wine closet. Absolutely perfect. And it's right there in the family room adjacent to the kitchen. Coming down this direction a little bit farther, obviously you see we have our staircase, which leads us upstairs. We have one closet here, which is more of a linen closet. And then we have a massive closet cavity here, which holds a safe, goes under the stairs. This is the big closet. Now over here to our right, this is our half bathroom, simple half bathroom. This is what all your guests are going to be using when they come to visit. And then behind me here is our garage. Now, we have a 3-car garage that's a tandem system. The third part of the tandem has all custom cabinetry, very beautiful, and especially for a garage, you rarely see cabinetry of this kind of caliber. And the cabinetry houses the entire Savant system that I was discussing earlier. We do have a tankless water heater, we do have a water softener system, and of course we have the epoxy floors that you would expect. So, a completely perfect garage. Let's come down toward the front of the house where we started and see a little bit more. So we saw that one wall leading to the courtyard from the family room. We have ingress, egress right here in the hallway to the courtyard. And then as we come down towards the entry area, you're gonna see we have additional access points to the courtyard. But this is what I wanted to focus on. So here's the entry that we started the tour from. And I love these courtyard entries. And the reason is you have a secure iron gate that'll keep anyone from entering the dwelling. but that also allows you to have these doors. So a lot of times you'll see we have these pivot doors. Here we have double French doors. So one, we could keep them wide open and get some air in the house on a day like today. That's nice. Or two, just having the glass doors, we don't have to worry about privacy matters because we do have a secured iron gate at the front of the property. So really, really lovely to have that implementation. Over here, we have a massive picture window that leads to the courtyard area. Lovely. But this is a really useful feature of the floor plan. So many of us have our parents living with us. You may have a child who's having a hard time getting out of the nest. This is a great space. So not only is there ingress egress once again to the courtyard through this slider system and to the backyard, but this is a full ensuite and it's a legitimate ensuite bedroom. So bed goes here. The opposing wall has a perfect display, so you have a perfect sight line from the bed. We do have a closet right here. You even have your own dedicated thermostat. So again, this is a wonderful setup for whichever family member or friend is staying with you for an extended period of time. In here, we have a dedicated water closet. We have our vanity with quartz counter surface, and this shower is actually massive. This is a huge shower for a secondary bedroom. This is more in line of what you would find in a normal home's primary suite shower. So again, a wonderful suite for anyone who needs it. All right, guys, we've finished the entire main floor of the property. Meet me upstairs. Let's check out the primary suite and some of the other secondary bedrooms. All right, guys, welcome to the second floor. So obviously the staircase that we just came up, but one of the features I love is I love all the linear windows in the property. And especially from this vantage point, you can look right out, you can see the mesa over here in Summerlin, all the mountains. Just beautiful. All right, now over here on the left side, this is where the primary suite is, but we're gonna start off in the front of the home first, and we're gonna check out all of the secondary bedrooms and work our way back to the primary. Now, one thing, the second floor of this property, just like the first floor, consists of that same engineered hardwood. So very modern, much more sanitary than carpet everywhere, very popular. Coming into the first of the secondary bedrooms, we do have a walk-in closet over here. We do have more of those linear windows. And one of the things I love about it is you can cover a few of the linear windows and leave the top one open, have tons of natural light, and you still maintain privacy because of the height. Over here, we do have a full bathroom. So it's nice. Every single one of these secondary bedrooms throughout the property are all ensuite. Now, none of them are as dramatic as the ensuite we saw downstairs. That's the best of the secondary bedrooms, but these all have iterations of it. Now, coming into the laundry room, nice proper laundry room. Behind the door here houses the sink. And then of course we have our washer dryer, tons of cabinetry. We do have a folding area with more cabinetry. And this is kind of a neat space. So over here, they have a nice hanger system. So you can take all of your shirts, pants, hanging them up to dry. And we have electrical. So if you didn't want to use that as a hanger system, you could install like an LG steamer system or whatever floats your boat. Throw in another washing machine, why not? All right, let's come down here towards the back of the property. And this is another ensuite bedroom. This one you can tell has custom built-ins everywhere. So this is more of like an executive office. Great views. One of the nice things from this perspective is in Sterling Ridge, the homes are relatively close to each other, but the owner put in all of these bamboo trees, which creates not only a nice zen environment when you get to the backyard, which we'll see momentarily, but it also creates an abundance of privacy so you don't have someone staring right at you. Really nice feature. Now, coming down a little bit farther, here we have kind of a unique system going on. So we do have a walk-in closet here, but we also have another closet that's a dedicated linen closet. And then once again, we do have a full bathroom for who's ever using this bedroom. Now, let's come down a little bit farther. Let's finally get to the primary suite. Now, we could block off this area and make this more dramatic, but we do have kind of a vestibule entry. We do have a tray ceiling, a nice light fixture, more of the linear windows, and then we get to the double door entry for the primary suite. So you can see right off the bat, a very spacious size primary. All the windows here are all those linear window configuration that we talked about. Once again, very dramatic views of the mesa from this window. Tons of privacy in the back because of those bamboo trees that we were talking about. But this is a really, really cool feature here. This is a beautiful covered balcony patio. So we do have a ceiling fan, we do have recessed lights, but what I love is they put in an automated solar shade because you do get a bit of the morning sun coming in here. So whether you wanted additional privacy or you wanted some light diffusion, with the press of a button, you can deploy the solar shade and you have both privacy and a little bit more shade for the light. Really wonderful feature. But now let's check out the bathroom. We got a lot of cool stuff going on in here. So coming into the bathroom, one of the things that I love is symmetry. So we have his and her vanities, perfect symmetry with the bathtub segregating these two areas. We do have a water closet dedicated over here. And again, this bathtub, very dramatic, very large. And we do have a linear window. And I mean, you can leave the windows open the entire time. There's no one can see into this bathroom. Great feature. Across from the bathtub, we have the shower. So we have a beautiful marble shower pan. Really dramatic, lovely marble looking porcelain tile here. Actually, you know what? This is actual real marble. Rare do you see that. Typically it's been porcelain that looks like marble. But we have a perfect shower configuration. So we have a dedicated normal shower head. We do have our handhold on the opposing wall. And then directly above me, we do have our rainfall shower head. Thank you for getting the shower head heights appropriate. No ducking down, always welcomed. Okay, back here a little bit farther, this was more of hers. So I said his and her vanity. This would most likely be her vanity because directly across, we do have a makeup counter. So this kind of makes it her zone. And then when we come a little bit deeper back here, this brings us to the closet. And this is a really large, spacious closet. And it contains all custom cabinetry. So really lovely. All right, guys, we've seen the first floor. We've seen the second floor. All we have left is to go out back, check out this beautiful Zen backyard, and see how they were able to take advantage of this corner lot. So meet me downstairs and let's check this out. All right, guys, welcome to the backyard. So like we talked about a little bit earlier, under the patio cover, very large, very spacious. We do have 2 ceiling fans, recessed lighting, and we do have distributed audio, 2 speakers out here on the balcony. What I love using is this wall we can actually put a display on, and then this could be an outdoor viewing area as well. But just a wonderful space. And because this is on a corner lot, it gives it a very unique feel, especially when we get to this side of the property. But let's start off on this end and work our way back around the corner. The entire flooring area of this backyard consists of these beautiful oversized aggregate style pavers. Really love the modern look to it. Now over here we have our outdoor kitchen area, nice little barbecue area, nice and cozy and cute. But let's talk about this pool area. I love this pool. So this is definitely a more modern pool, nice 90-degree angles. Love what they did. So the plaster is more of a dark, rich gray, offset with a 12 by 24 inch tile for the back. Love it. But I love how useful this pool is because it's long enough that you can actually swim laps and actually get some exercise out of it. So that's a nice feature. We do have 3 water features, these little cascading waterfalls that comes from the back over there. If your knees are hurting you, we do have a little bit of help, so that's gonna help me in a few years. And then coming down here a little bit, love this space. So here we have a massive Baja shelf. You could easily get 4 chaise lounges with plenty of space in between. And we have a little receptacle so you can put an umbrella. So if you don't need a tan like me, you can enjoy some shade. But this is such a cool design element. Coming around here with the waterscaping, we have these little floating pavers that leads us to the elevated jacuzzi. Really nice. The water just spills over both edges, really cool. But this was kind of what I was talking about. Because this is on a corner lot, we got this nice fig tree. We have all this space that normally we'd be relegated to a home, 10 feet next to us, looming over this backyard. And here you have an abundance of privacy. It just really has a wonderful feel to it when you're here. It's very zen, especially when you look at the backyard. We have all these bamboo trees that are going up about 20 feet high. So it creates privacy, it creates that very nice zen atmosphere. Really love this space. And even coming down here, we've got artificial turf for the kids and the fur babies. We have all these hedges and bushes and foliage. Just a really, really wonderful, wonderful space. And because we have that corner lot, it brings us around into this courtyard. So you have multiple areas to access the space. And again, you can tell now just how massive this courtyard area is. Guys, I always read your comments. I'm really excited to read what you guys think about this property. Now, Glade Hollow was an amazing property in here, but that's well over $4 million, as opposed to this property at a $1.5 million discount. So I'm interested to see what your thoughts are. I mean, at $1.5 million, that buys you a second home anywhere you want. Would you rather have this home in this neighborhood, save $1.5 million and do what you like with? Or would you rather just blow it all on that home? No wrong answers. I'm just interested to see what you think, because this is such an incredible value proposition for the community and for this neighborhood specifically. Now, if any of you are interested in a private tour, please feel free to contact me directly. You can either text me, call me, or visit the website and register there, and we'll set something up. Special thanks to Lorie, the listing agent, for allowing us to film this incredible property. Please be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.